Happening at the NFL spring meetings later on in the show. Let's talk Cowboys, okay? They're having OTAs. Brian Schottenheimer, of course, the new head coach there. And day 2 happening. Let's see, who's out there? There's a Donovan Ezeraku. They got him in the draft, of course. And you can see that the Cowboys have tried to add weapons on offense. They've tried to strengthen that defense. Here's new head coach Brian Schottenheimer on the addition specifically of George Pickens.
I think he's going to fit in awesome with what we're trying to do here. You guys have talked to him, I think, over the phone, and he's all about, a new opportunity. So, we all change, we all adjust, we all grow. I'm thrilled with the way the guys have responded to him. We did our homework on GP. We don't have those concerns, and we're bringing him into a culture that we feel like he'll thrive just like everybody else. Why? Because it's important to us.
I don't know what else I expected him to say, but it does sound like Schottenheimer's excited about Pickens. We see his play on the field. I don't blame him. What do you expect out of him?
Schottenheimer, by the way, is pitching a no-hitter this offseason.
Yeah.
Every time he's in front of the microphone, you listen, and you're like, wait, that does make sense. He's saying the right thing.
I'm with that.
I'm with that. Look, Will McClay, who does a lot of their player selections, he spoke earlier this month as well, and I thought he was fantastic on it as well. They went to the draft. They had a list of players. They looked at the caliber of wide receivers, and none of them were close to George Pickens with the exception of Teteroa McMillan, who went number 8 and was unavailable to them. So they get the next best thing. They get him, and it's his final year of a contract for a 24-year-old game breaker who is going to have a financial carrot at the end of this season that could be limitless. If this guy goes off, he can be the biggest free agent signing next year. And also, he's got a bit of chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
You leave Pittsburgh the way he did, and everyone out of Pittsburgh and all the Pittsburgh media is saying he was late to practice, he was late to games, he's a bad teammate, he doesn't block, all this stuff. Pickens is a good player. If ever there was a place in a nurturing environment, it's one where Brian Schottenheimer is going to lift him up, and where the other receiver, CeeDee Lamb, we saw over the weekend, said, I'm not the number one, we're both the number one.
That was good.
I love what they've got going on in Dallas, and I think it's a great situation. If he's not motivated this year, I don't know when he's going to be motivated to be that guy.
I love what they have going on offensively. I think this offense will be a good offense this year. I really do. I just don't know if the defense can become modern enough. We are back to, we've talked about this for about 4 years on NFL Live, running the ball. So if you look at Dallas's defense, in their first 6 opponents, they're going to face 3 teams, or first 7 opponents, 3 teams that were top 5 running the football last year. And then you have the Bears in there and the Carolina Panthers. I think both of those teams also will be top 10 run offenses. So I think the offense is going to be good. Here's my concern, and this is where I am with Dallas, and I would love to get just the overall perspective. The Dallas front 7 weighs, okay? We go 260, 280, 245, 220, 240, 320. There's one person over like 280. When I'm playing Philly.
I'm thinking of Jeff Stoutland's offensive line right now.
Yeah, when I'm thinking Matt LaFleur running the football, I'm thinking what Chicago has done with their offense. So I know that we talk about Dallas and offense and George. I'm going to be very interested to see the annual question about this Cowboys defense. Are you big enough to handle the modern day offense in the NFL? Because it's back to being what it was in the early 2000s.
You mentioned us talking about this on this show for the last 4 years. It's amazing how quickly it switches, and all of a sudden these offenses are just beefed up.
Your light 220-pound linebackers are great until you got to handle 330-pound
But that's
offensive
to
linemen.
Laura's point. That's the game. There's a Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah who's weighing 220 one year, and it's like, wait, we actually need to get back to the bigger linebackers, and we need to KO spikes in the middle.
Exactly. Dallas doesn't have that right now.
Oh, and what they do have, though, kind of, is Micah Parsons, and it's actually pretty cool. He's been at workouts. Here's Schottenheimer. Peter said he's pitching a no-hitter. Let's hear from him about Micah.
First couple days, what we were doing some, team building things, some culture. We've spoken very openly about trying to create one of the greatest cultures in professional sports. Micah is going to be a leader for us. Micah wants to be a leader for us. He's going to do that. And so I felt like it was really important for him to be here to begin that process. And again, it's a voluntary camp, but the fact that he did that means a lot to me.
All right, just in case you've been living under a rock, Micah Parsons looking for a new deal. Is it a little surprising, Peter, that Micah's there right now?
I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
I agree.
Like, Brock Purdy showed up last week to voluntary stuff for the Niners, and I remember saying, that's great. Like, that's good. Like, you want to see that. Gets rewarded with his deal. Micah's doing everything you could ask for a veteran leader to do while he's waiting for his contract to be settled as well, I think there could have been a very different path where it's I'm going to kick and scream and I'm going to bang my head that, hey, I haven't gotten paid yet. No, I'm going to be there. It's a new coach, new defense, new defensive coordinator. I love that he was there.
He has to be there. He's the face of the organization.
Bingo. He has the highest pass rush win rate over the last 2 seasons. We're just getting started with these two on NFL Live. Don't go anywhere. Adam Schefter. The NFL owners voted today to permit players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. So more on this coming throughout the show. We'll weigh in, also giving out our ideal starting flag football rosters on the show.
You got to plan for the future. 3 years from now.
I can't wait. Oh, but good stuff. Really interesting. I mean, this is a monumental moment for the NFL. Let's get back to everything else we need to talk about. Going to Cincinnati, Brian Callahan talking about his old quarterback, of course. Joe Burrow spoke today about Trey Hendrickson and his contract negotiation.
I think he's doing what he thinks is best for his career, and I support him in that. You know, Trey's a smart guy, just like anybody. You know, I'm sure there's things that he'd like to have back, but he's very well thought out in his process, and he's a guy that deserves to get paid and get paid what he wants and what the market is. So, you know, like I said, we'll see what happens with that. But, you know, I love Trey and hope he's with us.
I kind of feel for Burrow. He keeps having to advocate for his teammates to get paid. But either way, Dan, you heard Burrow there saying that he thinks Hendrickson should get paid fair value. How important is it that he remains with the Bengals this season?
It's huge. Without Trey Hendrickson, no one can sit here honestly and say Bengals are legit Super Bowl contenders. And that's weird when you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in that offense. But we've watched this football team. This guy led the NFL in sacks last year, always playing essentially with the offense that he was competing against in a lead. Not in many obvious passing situations. I think that if they find a way to get Trey Hendrickson on their team, then they are legit Super Bowl contenders because of that quarterback. And I think the Bengals got to sit back and be like, are we really going to waste a year of this in the nucleus that we have over a couple $1 million here? You know who he is. You know the type of player he is. You know the type of person he is. I think it's a silly mistake to push it this far with a player and a person as good as Hendrickson.
Is it really a couple $1 million? Are they that close?
It's a curious situation in that we're only hearing it from Trey Hendrickson's side. So he goes on McAfee. I thought he was excellent. Well-spoken, eloquent. A month later, he's talking to the media and he's saying, my wife was a nurse in a hospital 4 miles away. My kid was born here. I want to be in Cincinnati.
Sure.
And the Bengals are giving him the Heisman of just we don't care about any of that. We're not going to get sentimental about this. We paid our top 2 off-season priorities. We finally broke the bank. We did something that you all thought we wouldn't. We paid Chase. We paid Higgins. We had 2 priorities this offseason. Take care of those guys. Trey Hendrickson wasn't a top priority for them to pay. He's a 31-year-old pass rusher. And as tough as that is, and as much as a great leader he is, the message they're sending is, you're just not a priority for us to break our backs right now.
Let me ask you this question. So is it that he wasn't their top 2 priority, or is the market also